Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
So today, we're going to jump into something pretty central in digital finance right now. Stablecoins. These digital dollars.
Absolutely. Critical piece, yeah.
And what really caught our eye was some news out of Axios talking about their market cap.
Yeah.
It's moving.
Definitely.
So our plan today is basically to unpack why the stablecoin market seems to be surging and, what that actually means for the bigger picture of finance.
Sounds good. Let's dig in.
Okay, so the big headline from Axios. Total stablecoin market cap.
Yeah.
It just hit a new record high.
Big number.
It really is. It feels like more than just a number, though. It signals something shifting. But what's the immediate trigger? What's really pushing this right now?
Well, the timing is pretty telling. This surge came pretty much right after the Senate passed that stablecoin regulatory bill.
Okay. So a direct link there.
A very direct link. It's not just any bill, right? This is seen as maybe the biggest step yet towards getting some real federal clarity on stablecoins.
Which everyone's been waiting for.
Exactly. For years, it's been this, state-by-state mess, a patchwork. And that just doesn't work for serious large-scale integration.
Right. Too much uncertainty.
Totally. So this Senate bill, it's like the first real glimpse of a single unified federal approach. And that directly tackles the biggest hesitation point for a lot of institutions. It makes stablecoins feel much more, tangible for mainstream use.
Okay, so the Senate acts, market likes it. Got it.
Yeah.
But let's unpack that reaction a bit. What does that legislative momentum actually mean on the ground? Are we just seeing optimism, or is real money flowing differently now?
Yeah, good question. And the market narrative, according to the source, is super clear on this. Investors, the issuers themselves, they're basically celebrating this progress.
Okay.
And it's not just talk. They're putting their money behind it.
Yeah.
If you look beyond just the market cap number, the on-chain data is pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, what's it showing?
We're seeing noticeable jumps in active stablecoin addresses, especially the ones holding larger amounts.
So bigger players maybe?
Seems like it. And transaction volumes are up too, particularly on some of the institutional DeFi platforms. So it suggests, the more sophisticated users are coming back in or maybe engaging more deeply. They're actually using the stablecoins, not just holding them as a bet.
Right, not just speculation.
Exactly. It really underlines how much the market craves that clearer regulatory picture.
It really does. It's almost like paving the first roads in the crypto Wild West, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly people feel safer driving their digital assets around.
Yeah, that's a decent analogy. It's a perception shift.
Totally. So, okay, with this confidence seemingly returning, what could this unlock? What does this mean for you, the listener, or just, finance more broadly? What are the cool possibilities here?
Well, this is where it could get really transformative. This renewed confidence might open the door to more mainstream uses.
Like what?
The source mentions something pretty compelling. Integrating stablecoins into things like mortgage underwriting.
Whoa, okay.
Ooh.
Mortgages, how would that even work?
Well, think about it. Instead of waiting days or even weeks for funds to settle the traditional way.
Which is painfully slow.
Right. Stablecoins could allow for near-instant transparent transfers, funds, collateral, all moving within the mortgage process almost immediately. Imagine the cost savings, the reduction in delays.
For buyers and lenders, wow.
Yeah, it could genuinely revolutionize what's always been a super slow, paper-heavy process. And beyond mortgages, think cross-border payments.
The classic crypto use case.
But maybe finally feasible at scale, right? Cheaper, faster international transfers. Or even enabling tiny micropayments for online content, stuff where traditional banking fees just make it impossible.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting then. Integrating into mortgages, speeding up global payments. It's huge. I mean, those sectors usually move so slowly.
Glacially, yeah.
But hang on, is this like a done deal? Is the picture fully painted? Our sources mention this, Bill, but are there catches? Any worries about the fine print or maybe unintended consequences that could cool things off again?
Yeah, that raises a really important point. The final shape of this regulation, it's definitely not set in stone. Not yet.
Okay.
What's crucial to remember is this still needs compromise between the House and the Senate. They need to hash out the final version.
And they might have different ideas about how strict it should be.
Exactly. You could have one side pushing for, say, really strict bank-like capital rules, very cautious, while the other side might argue for something lighter, more focused on fostering innovation.
So two different philosophies clashing.
Potentially. And those debates, especially the ones expected next month, could really swing sentiment again, depending on where they land on those key details. So, yeah, this first step, big confidence boost. But the story's definitely not over. How they negotiate those final points will be absolutely critical for where stablecoins go long term.
Okay, right. So to sum it up for you listening, we've got a record high stablecoin market really kicked off by this initial progress on regulation in the Senate.
Hmm.
That's sparking excitement about real-world uses, like maybe fixing mortgages or making global payments easier.
Potentially big shifts.
And it's a significant, but the final rules aren't written yet. It all hangs on how the House and Senate work things out in the coming weeks and months.
Still some hurdles to clear.
Definitely. So maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on. How might the specific details they do eventually agree on, things like capital rules? Who gets to issue these coins? How might that shape not just stable coins, but how all these digital assets might actually weave into your everyday financial life? Something to watch.
Definitely something to keep an eye on.
We'll be tracking it. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.